Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, everyone.
So 2 hours ago, we posted our Charterstone first impression video.
Yeah. Definitely 2 hours ago.
Yeah, so some people said, where is it? Well, just life got in the way and stuff. So we had played 4 hours of the game, the first 4 games. Well, when I say 4 hours, each game's about an hour.
Yeah.
Some games have been 45 minutes, some games have been 90 minutes. But now we finished a whole campaign, 12 games of it. We have not played farther than that, but we agree that we could continue to do so. The game certainly allows for that to happen. So these are our spoiler-free impressions. I'd like to talk very specifically about some things, but we'll do that in a spoiler review. So I think to get things started, we should probably start where our ratings are now. I know we normally wait for this to the end of the video, but that kind of gives us a viewpoint of where we are.
Okay.
I believe when we first did it, if I was correct, when we first did our 4 things, it was kind of like a 6, 7, 8. I think those were where our ratings were after 4 games.
Pretty
Something
close.
like that.
Sounds good.
Where are you now? Same?
Yeah, about the same. The game, what it lacked in surprises and storytelling, it made up for in gameplay and mechanisms and just how solidly put together the whole thing is.
For me, I would give the game, if we had to pull this out right now with the game playing in the future, I'd give that a 7. It's something I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fun, I'll play that. And I would, many of our 12 games, I would also give 7s, but not all of them. And the campaign itself, I'd probably give a 6 too. It was interesting, it was good, but it wasn't fantastic, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit.
Well, I think I've probably dipped a bit because I usually like worker placement games, in which this is. But I usually want a storyline that comes with it that gives me solid reasoning for why I'm doing it. And I think this gave me solid reasoning, but I didn't enjoy that storyline. I didn't enjoy the thematic element of the game, which lessened my enjoyment of the game across the board. Z was talking about where it lacked in story, it made up for in gameplay. I think where it lacked in story, it pulled further the gameplay down for me. So okay. I think I'm probably going to land at about a 5. It's an average legacy game. Now, let me say that. Now, I think what Tom was saying with the furthering playing game, I think that's going to be fun, where you pull it out every once in a while. But I think the legacy aspect was ho-hum for me.
And I gotta say, I was going through the storyline and getting to the end, I was like, am I gonna want to play this again? But when I read the rules on how you do play it again, I was like, oh, okay, yes. I'm good with that. And I think I would enjoy those games more than the games in here. And this is my biggest problem with Charterstone, is I felt like it was a 12-hour game as opposed to 12 individual games. I felt like the games just flowed into each other, and I think at an hour and a half of this game, I would enjoy it more, but at 12 hours, I did not ever really, it was hard for me to grasp what mattered for the end. Now that we do, I mean, I would play a lot differently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you would or not. Our scores, what Sam won, by the way.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm so surprised that Z likes it so much, because it felt like a 12-hour experience, but he's the one that loves it the most.
Well, not to me. It didn't feel that way to me.
Yeah, I guess. It just,
But did you feel like, when we got to the end of a game in a campaign, did you feel like it was, I'll turn this off, did you feel like that the campaign, did you feel like the campaign was, that game mattered? See, I never felt like that. We got to the end of a game and I was losing, I was like, all right, well, let me work on the next part. I was looking toward the future. You could carry some things over from game to game, and so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to win this game. It is what it is. I'm going to work on the next, getting ready for the next game.
I feel like that about every game. I don't care about winning, but
I'm not saying I care about winning.
I don't
Come on
understand
now.
what you're asking me.
What I'm saying is, I don't get upset about winning, but I still want to win any particular game that I play. I don't go into a game not wanting to win it.
Yeah, okay.
Hoping to lose.
Right.
I still don't get what you're asking.
But in this one, if I play a game, a big worker placement game, and I lose, I'm like, oh, bummer, I lost. I'm not happy to lose. I didn't care if I lost any single game in this because it felt like it was just part of a bigger game.
Okay.
So he's asking you, why does this not feel like a 12-player game?
Right.
How were you able to break up each game? I mean, they were so similar.
Because you stop, you score, you get upgrades, you switch what you're doing, you can pick a new personality for the next game.
Yeah.
It's like playing a 12-hour video game. If I have to sit and play all 12 hours, I'm going to hate it. If I play an hour today, an hour next weekend, I'm great. I'm loving it. And that is a literal continuation, like load the last save.
You've never binged a video game?
Rarely. I don't like to do that.
See, that I'll do, and I like that. Again, I don't mean this to come off as a negative thing. I think that the game is good. I'm not convinced that there's a lot of unique, innovative things in Charterstone.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
I would agree, but again, I don't think that's a bad thing either.
I think the main issue I have sometimes with legacy games is that they feel like it's just a full game, a regular full designs game that they then cut pieces out of and they give them back to you slowly over a few games, right? This one tiptoes that line.
No, it steps across that line, dude.
I mean, not because, I think it doesn't because of the new buildings being introduced onto the board. If it didn't do that and it was just new rules, and more, now you have these characters, now you can do this thing. Okay, next game, now you can do that. Then yes, it would just be a really, really big game.
If someone came, though, to our house to visit, and I said, hey, you want to play this game called Charterstone, and I played right now, the end game with everything else, I could teach it to them, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
No, that's fine. I like that it's approachable. I'm just saying.
You couldn't do that with Pandemic Legacy.
I guess, yeah. Well, the story is what they would be missing there.
Yeah, you could. They would just miss the story.
Yeah.
They could play the game.
I thought the story in this was weak.
Oh, it was.
It was predictable. It was.
It was weak.
Yeah, the story is.
That's one of my main detractors from it.
Yeah, the story's window dressing for sure. Yeah, but I liked the gameplay, and I thought it did the giving you a little bit more each game thing, which is okay, but it padded that out with stuff you could do in game that felt cool to do. It wasn't just, okay, we're done playing a game, here's some new rules for next time, shuffle up and do it again. You actually did things during each session. And again, mainly adding stuff to the board.
Well, I do like that. I do like that. And we mentioned before, that we like that what you did in a game mattered. Because that was your biggest complaint about Seafall. We mentioned how that did not matter. But in this one, it mattered. So if I could carry over. I might not be winning in a game, but I can say, oh, I'm going to prepare for the next one a little bit.
Right.
I do like that. But I'll tell you what, I was coming to the end of this, and I was thinking I'm going to rate this a 6. But I upped it to a 7 because I thought they did a good job at saying, okay, you did the legacy part, now kind of put everything together. Here's a good, solid game to play, and I'm happy with that. I'm actually pretty happy with that.
Yeah,
that could even go up, that rating of that game. If I pull this out, I could see that working.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think the way they did that works.
My 5 rating was for the legacy game, which is what this is, which is what we've done. And I think it would probably be about a 6 for me as playing it from here on out. Because it is a good game. It's a well-designed game, and it does shine in that respect. The legacy aspect of it, which is what this was billed as, it's right there on the cover. It's not that great of a legacy game, but I think it's a well-designed game overall.
The other thing I didn't really like about it being a legacy game was by game 8, we had found everything. Well, so games 9, well, yeah, I mean, other than the forced storyline, we have found all the new mechanisms, and games 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Other than the whatever restrictions they put on us, those games felt like that, and that was partially my fault because I'm always opening up stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that, but I will miss that part about the game when it goes on in the future, but I'll miss it less than I thought I would. Again, the way that they did everything was simple, and it wasn't like, what? But it was more like, okay, that makes sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you play it again through the Legacy with the recharge pack?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I think it's fun. I think it's again, if you're someone who showed up, who came to the show for a story, you're at the wrong tent. You need to go find a different show, If you came here because you're a Eurogamer, you're kind of intrigued by the legacy aspect of a game evolving from session to session, I think you're going to get what you're looking for. This is a Euro game through and through. It's a worker placement game. It's a grab resources, push them back out for other resources, get victory points. I normally don't like that. This game is cute, it's quick, it's attractive. It does that without getting, discombobulated in its transactions. Does that well, and it is a legacy game. One session will be different from the next one, even if a little bit. Sometimes it's just a little bit. Sometimes you really kind of rewrite some stuff. So again, I think for that audience, I think this is going to be a hit.
I do have one question, because I was thinking about this earlier. One of the things that this game does, and you've said you hated this in the past, where games make you do everything. This game makes you do that. In order to have a chance to win the campaign,
to win the campaign,
you have to do a little bit of everything, and if you don't, you pretty much aren't going to win. You have stated your hatred for that in the past. This is that in spades. Why do you like this better?
I think because it's not one game. I know. So, like the example I always have for that is Agricola, right? And Agricola, to score well, you have to do everything, but you have to do everything in one session, in that 90 minutes. Like I need horses and cows and sheep and fences. But if I do this session, I sit down, I get a whole bunch of horses, and next time I play Agricola, I just go for the cows. That's not the same thing. In this one, you kind of should do everything in the game, yes. Over 12 completely separate sessions.
Yeah, okay.
So it doesn't feel like, oh man, okay, so I spent the first half hour doing this. I guess I better switch over to this other thing I have to do. It didn't feel that way.
So it sounds like you're going to like the end game better than the Legacy experience.
I don't know. I definitely think it's a great way to have a Legacy game continue to work effortlessly. I think they did a fantastic. I think they did a fantastic job of having the game really be replayable.
Yeah, this is
That's
easily the legacy game that you can go and play more.
That's the unique part of the game, right?
And if you are one of the people that says, "Oh, legacy games, it's once and done. I'm not paying to throw away a game." Yeah, this is your huckleberry, like Sam said.
You're actually building a custom game,
right?
That's
that
really
you will play later on, and the game keeps you from making it unplayable too.
Correct.
So there's ways around that. I probably would have played some things differently in the long run, but still. And there's even legacy aspects that we haven't finished yet. I mean, I think they'll be done after 2 or 3 more games of this.
Right.
But they're there, and it's possible. So I'm actually interested in that, and I think more people will like this than not.
Yeah.
I think for me, especially the legacy experience, I'm looking for that really cool involved story. Wasn't here, but the gameplay was really good. This is. I'll play Pandemic Legacy any day over this game, but I'll play this game any day over Seafall. Like I won't play Seafall again. You could talk me, and I think you could even talk me into doing another whole campaign of this.
Right.
Time-wise, but I do like the fact that all you got to do is buy a recharge pack, flip the board, and
that's another really cool thing that they did that Stonemaier Games did.
Right out of the gate too.
You get 2 boards, you get all the components. If you really wanted to play again or with 2 separate groups, you buy a recharge pack. They give you all the cards, so the stuff you would consume. You play on the other side of the board. And if you do that twice, when you pull this out, you can choose what side you play on. I don't think they're going to be that different, but you could do it.
Well, actually, I am half tempted to buy a recharge pack for this and just skip the whole legacy part and build a cool board.
Just like cannibalize the recharge pack and build a board?
Like just goes right to finish game.
Like put different things into different areas and different buildings.
I guess you could do that.
That'd be pretty interesting, though, right?
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting way to play.
I guess so. I mean, it's your recharge pack. Do whatever you want.
Maybe I will.
It's my recharge pack.
Okay, so overall, though, Stonemaier Games is still, or Stonemaier Games, sorry, is still on the top of the heap when it comes to designing games.
Yes.
I don't think anyone out there is going to call this a bad game by any means.
No, I don't think
and
so.
even at my most annoyed I was at the game, I'm still like, there's a lot of people who are going to love this game, right? So we'll be more specific in our spoiler review. There's certain things I really want to talk about, but can't.
Yes, me too.
So
Me too.
Right.
we'll see you there if you play the game first, though. Don't come get spoiled.
Yeah.
Although you probably could watch. No, you probably should play the whole
No, just
campaign.
don't spoil it. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.